The next film I
Yeah.
saw is directed by Samuel Fuller, and it's from 1982. Do
Yeah.
you know what it is?
What? White Dog. These are all my movies, so of course I know. Well, not my
Well,
movies, but
no, I
yeah,
know. No, they literally are. These are like your
yeah,
DVDs that you let me borrow.
yeah. White Dog.
I wish I could show you my if the screen's not reading it, but there's notes upside down in the corner. There's just so much.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the kind of movie I hope to make one day. A film like this. That just means more than making a movie. You know, it's got some real layers to it. You know, some real heart. It's not just like
Hmm.
to make a fun, trippy film, give everybody a wild ride. It's more like to
Hmm.
make an impact, and to um, make you like question, you know, uh, certain mindsets. I saw. Okay, so I'm trying to get better at summarizing the film and like kind of setting up the movie. A woman finds an injured dog, rescues it, brings it into her home. As she brings the dog into her home, one of the nights she's staying there, there's a burglar that breaks in and attempts to rape our lead, this woman, and the dog basically saves her and attacks the man, and then even like viciously continues and jumps out of the window to finish the attacker, and then later in the film we realize this is a trained dog, but this trained dog is specifically trained to attack black people. Yeah,
Yes.
was that all right?
Yep. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. I
It's a racist. It's a basically a racist dog.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, it's a movie about a racist dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially. um uh I was so curious where it was going, how the film was going to end, and I like the lesson. Even a dog is maybe reference to like a person too, right? A little bit. Can you
Hmm.
change a person that's that racist, that deep?
Well, I mean, part of the movie, the idea behind it, and just in general with human beings, is that racism and looking at people based on the way that they look is a trained thing that we think it's just inherent, it's just how we are as people, but it is a trained thing. And if you train yourself to think that this person looks like this, so they must be that, then that's where you have the problem. But you can easily untrain yourself the same way that you trained yourself in that negative way.
Cool.
And this movie probably would never be made today because dog movies now are the ones where it's all like the art of racing in the rain and the dog's way home, and it's all kind of positive. But I love the concept of taking something like that. And this is not like Call of the Wild where it's a CGI dog.
Yeah,
Like they got a real dog to do all this kind of stuff. And
yeah,
Sam Fuller is the man. And the commentary that he does about the race and things
yeah,
like that, and
yeah.
all that. I think it has layers, like you said. On the surface, you go, "What is the story about?" But then if you watch it, there's actually information he's presenting to that is thoughtful, and it has a lot of good takeaways from it as well.
I thought it was excellent. I thought the end the I'll kind of get to the I'll kind of get there as far as the ending goes. I have a note that I think is really kind of, I don't know what I exactly wrote, but I just remember the power of a cheeseburger, right?
Yeah,
I
I like these
when
notes.
Yeah, I know.
Out of context. People are like, "What are you talking about?"
um, I think it's the first scene he tries to give the dog a cheeseburger, and then the dog doesn't take it, and I remember thinking like, that's not gonna work. Like what? That's a great angle. And then he tries it again, and then the cheeseburger works, and I was like, that makes sense. That kind of checks out. The score is a Ennio Morricone. It's kind of cool.
Hmm. Yeah, there's some great moments in there, like the slow motion dog running and the music, and
Yeah.
yeah, another reason to watch it if you're a fan of Ennio, like I am, and I know you are.
Did you know originally Tony Scott was supposed to direct that? That's supposed to be his first film, I guess.
That I did know. Yep.
I thought that was
Yeah,
kind of
I would be curious how he would have approached, because Sam Fuller was such an older generation kind of Hollywood guy,
yeah.
and as a first film, would you be safer with it, or would you take a bigger risk? And I think
No,
that's
yeah.
something to think about. And I mean, he had an awesome career on his own anyway, but
Yeah.
that I did know about that one.
I thought the dialogue was really heavy when she was like, "How do you get a racist dog?" and the guy that ran the shelter for
Mhm.
the animals was like, you get a junkie, African American junkie, and then you have him beat the dog, like, and like start to learn to hate. I just thought that, like, you do think about, like, you in your head you're like, oh, I wonder how they did train him, and when you hear that scene you just like, that's really hardcore. That's a really hardcore scene, you know.
Yeah, I was always curious as someone who, you love dogs, how you would respond to a movie like that, where you go, a dog, it can be racist. How's that possible? So, because I'm
Yeah,
not a dog person, as you know very well, but I I thought it was just a unique premise to present something like that. Because again, we're taking the idea of training somebody to be racist or based on the way that they look, but it's the same way we train ourselves
yeah,
in a human interaction as well. How somebody looks, how they act, skin, ethnicity, sexuality. We are training ourselves to assume something
yeah,
based on something that maybe happened to us. We think, well, everyone's going to be like that, or we don't know anything about that person, so we're assuming that's what they're going to be like. So um, again, a movie that not a lot of people know. It was I was happy to see Criterion put it out when they did, but still doesn't get as much recognition probably. I think because a lot of people are scared to talk about it, or they interpret it the wrong way.
yeah.
And that's going to happen with any movie, but I recommend this one. It's not the easiest movie to find, but Criterion does have it, and I think it's a good one to just buy and watch. Like
Yeah.
you'll watch it again and get some stuff out of it.
The dog was great. Like, as an actor or someone that had to be a star of a film, the dog was great. You know, he didn't. There's only like one or
The
two times I saw him.
viciousness,
Yeah.
the teeth, and like that whole thing's like real. This is not a CGI. It's amazing.
Well, and then the attacker, the guy attempting to, rape our lead, was the dog trainer. That's why he's like so in frame, letting the dog attack him. You know, you can
Hmm.
feel like it's his
Yeah.
buddy. Uh, I do want to talk about the ending a little bit.
Okay.
I love the scene where this grandpa shows up with these two little white girls, and he's asking for
Hmm.
his dog back, referring to, he chewed, or she chews him out because he's referring to, where's my dog? And like, yeah, I
Hmm.
trained him. He's kind of owning that. I thought that scene was great. The scene where the dog keeps running towards, you know what I'm talking about, that main final
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't I needed one less moment of him running to someone. Do you know what I mean?
You're talking about the slow motion and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't understand, like, okay, because we got the scene before with the grandpa, the white grandpa, and he kind of looks
Mhm.
like do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So is the dog attempting to attack his original owner? Like, why would he attack him out of all the people?
I'm trying to think. I
So
don't know.
the guy that runs the shelter, it's an African American gentleman who's training
Yeah.
the dog, and then it's an older kind of heavyset white guy that kind of owns the place, and
Right.
they have a conversation beforehand, and then the African American character goes to train the dog, but then when the woman shows up, the dog starts sprinting towards the guy first, the black guy, and then he thinks he has to shoot
Yeah.
him. But then as the woman gets
Yeah.
closer into frame, the dog now starts slow motion running towards the woman, and then we get juked out from him attacking the black guy, and then we get juked out from him attacking the woman, and then it goes right and he attacks the heavyset white guy that looks like the grandpa from the previous scene, or is that irrelevant?
No, I think that was part of it
Yeah,
in terms of what he recognized. I think it
yeah,
was supposed to be like he thought it was someone different, but I'm remembering it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, I do remember he goes to the African American guy, then he goes to the woman, and then he goes back, and then they shoot him at the end, or
yeah,
what? I forgot. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I probably if you haven't seen the movie, whoops, I probably just
No,
ruined
it's
it,
okay.
but
That's why, for anyone like listening, I kind of am trying to hint beforehand where we get to I have issues
yeah,
with the ending, and so they can.
okay. And
Yeah.
I just spoiled it, so
No, you're fine.
I didn't all the work that you did, I just negated.
um, I think it's a great film. I think if that movie was to come out today, I think it would hold up fine. There's something just for me a little cheesy about how that was all structured. It was built up too long, and kept like there's only so many times you're gonna juke somebody out before you're kind of like, this is a little silly, you know, in a way.
Right.
I thought overall though, great film, great message. You know, love animals, I think is a great message.
And people.
I thought it was interesting in the final scene. They kept zooming in on the gun, but then it kept zooming in kind of weird for me the way I was looking at it, and I'm like, what are they doing here? And they kept zooming in even more. But then it was like finally to zoom in on the finger pulling the trigger, and I can't think of a film where they don't focus on the gunshot. They focus on the finger pulling the trigger, which is to me a nice low budget trick, you know, and just different from what you're used to for the eye, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah, good. The dog was trained as a seeing eye dog. Clever disobedience. I gotta organize my notes a bit better for you, Elyusha. Okay, that was this film.